So last spring, just about a year ago, um, I bought this gigantic mud Jeep. It's a fiberglass CJ5 body on a CJ5 frame with a weird narrow Dana 60 that I think's out of some sort of Ford in the back, and a Dana 44 from a GM product in the front. Slightly geared higher than the rear, which is a mud truck thing. It makes them pull a little better sometimes. And it came with a 4.3 V6 in it, and it had a full-time transfer case, which was gigantic. So the 4.3 was all the way up to the radiator, where the radiator would be if it wasn't mounted in the back of this thing. So we told the guy, sure, I'll buy it if you can drive it on a trailer. And we showed up there, and sirens. We drove it on a trailer and dragged it back here, and we took it mudding exactly once with the 4.3 V6 in it. And it went through a pit, but it barely ran. I couldn't get the thing running right and whatnot. And then I figured out it was the carburetor, and it was timing issues, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So long story short, I sold the 4.3 for about half what we had in the Jeep. Somebody bought it and put it in a boat. So at that point, I've got this Jeep that basically cost me less than $1,000, and decided to put together a 350 for it. I had a Vortec 350. I've got a bunch of parts here. Started putting together a Vortec 350 with some mods, and it didn't really work out that well. So then I pulled this one out of a box van I've got up in the yard, pull it apart, and it turns out to be a 4-bolt main 350 with Vortec heads because it's a heavy-duty truck engine. So even better, and it looks good shape. So there may be plans for this later, but for now, I just cleaned it up, put some new head gaskets in it, dropped that performer intake on. We're going to make it a carbureted one. I've got a distributor for it. So that should go good. I'm moving everything back another about 4 inches, because if you notice here, the exhaust is kind of pointed at the tire, and that's not going to work. But I'm also moving this thing has a CJ5 wheelbase, and it's a buggy. It bounces like crazy. I'm actually going to stretch it to about 102 inches, which means moving the front axle forward 8 inches. Motor's going to go back 4 inches or 5 inches, and then the exhaust will be back here, and I'll put a 45 on it so it doesn't hit the tire. But I was trying to get it together for a mud run tomorrow, and it's clearly not going to make it in the mud tomorrow, but there's another one next month that hopefully we can make it to. So, I mean, it came okay set up. It already had a plastic seat in over here, and one harness, and we're going to put another plastic seat over there, and I've got another harness over there, and B&M shifter that needs a little tinkering, but it works. And if we move around to the back of this thing, sorry for this shaky camera work, it's, the old girl's she's got an ass on her, but it's on 39.5s. It's a pretty big Jeep. It's actually, I'm going to take the body lift out of it. It's going to drop a couple inches. But the radiator's in the back. It's a great big brass radiator out of something, copper radiator, whatever. And I stuck this fuel cell back here. We're going to stick the battery back here and kind of set it up the rest of the way. But one of the first things I got to do is we're going to get rid of these Jeep springs. And I think I'm going to put it on some Super Duty truck springs, which are longer, move the rear end back about 10 inches, cut the fender out so it clears. And then the front axle is actually going to move forward about 8 inches, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to put it on something other than leaf springs. I've got some bits and pieces here that I could probably do ladder bars and coil springs for if I just buy some Heim joints. So like 4-inch-and-a-quarter Heims, and I could basically build some ladder bars, come forward on that, and have something kind of neat that would handle a little better in the mud. But we're going to try not to get too far ahead of ourselves and make it a doable project. It's, wasn't the worst thing in the world. I put a 205 in it last year. It had a full-time transfer case in it, which are gigantic. They're another like 8 inches longer. So that allowed me to slide the engine back about 8 inches, but it's still not back far enough. So I'm actually going to move the transfer case mount back another 4 inches, and then the axle's going back 10 inches, and that's, that'll make it a whole lot more doable. Right, over here, we got no issues. Headers will stick out just fine. My steering's going to be a little funky, but I've got a whole pile of, come on, focus. There you go. I got a whole pile of odds and ends, and I think it's going to end up being something to the effect of this. To that, probably put this right here, and then put another shaft down to the steering box, which will be, again, another 10 inches, 9 inches, 8 inches, whatever. I decided to move it forward from where it is. So, I used to mud run a lot, do a little mud racing and stuff. And last year I just got the urge again when this thing popped up. It kind of spoke to me. And here we are with this monstrosity that's eating my time. But, you know, more to come on it. I'm going to try and make some longer videos here pretty quick. I've been down and out as far as computers and editing has gone. That's why it's just nothing but shorts for the last year plus. But we're going to see if we can do something about that this summer and make some more good videos. And I appreciate the support. And I hope to give you some updates on this thing very soon when it hopefully roars to life and backs itself out of the garage. The other mod that I'm going to do to this is these axles are going bye-bye because I have out in the yard an 88 one-ton Chevrolet that I'm going to pull the Dana 60 front and the 14-bolt rear out of. So it will be geared the same at both ends, but it's going to be a longer wheelbase, and it should go pretty good. Plus, it'll be rugged. Because the plan is to take out this 300 or so whatever horsepower 350 that's in it and try for quite a bit more and see if we can make this thing kind of silly. Anyway, you know, wish me luck. Again, thanks for your support, and I should have some updates with something pretty soon. Bye, folks.